Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Coaching Corner. I am so happy to see everybody. Welcome. All right. So, again, welcome. I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. So happy to see you guys. I didn't see you guys last week. It was hectic, so I didn't see you guys last week, but I'm so happy to be with you guys tonight. And for anyone who's new to our page, I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. And here at the IEP Coach LLC, every Tuesday we go live to talk about all things Sped. Okay. Now, before we go any further, make sure you share out this live. So share out the live. As I'm telling you to share out the live, I'm sharing out the live as well. All right. Hi, Holistic Fluency. Hey, nice to see you. Oh my God, I got so much to tell you guys, and I can't wait to talk about tonight's topic. All right, so go ahead and share this out. I always make sure I share it on my personal page as well. I hope everyone is having a good evening. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Hi. Is it Geneva 120? I want to make sure I pronounce your name right, because I hate when people mispronounce my name. I want to make sure you pronounce it correctly. I am pronouncing it correctly. Okay, tune in now. All right. Hello. All righty. All right. So I shared it on. Yes. All righty. So, where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know in the chat. Put it in the comments where you're tuning in. Oh, I said your name right. I'm so happy. I hate to mispronounce people's names. I really do. But so, welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And for those of you who are new to the IEP Coach, at the IEP Coach, we are an education consulting company, and we specialize in providing special education center support. SPED is our thing. So we do professional development. We do coaching for teachers. We also support paraprofessionals and instructional assistants, because a lot of times they are supporting SPED teachers and students with IEPs. And we also do parent workshops for parents, because parents need to be educated about the IEP process as well as the SPED process. And we're going to throw in 504s as well. And we support nonprofits, because a lot of you have programming for children, for students, after school programming, and we train your staff, because that way we also train staff to better support students that have learning, sensory, or behavior needs. All right, that's just a little bit about us at the IEP Coach. Oh, you're from Philly in the house. We're from Philly too. All righty. I want to just make sure we are going live on all of our platforms, because we go live on Instagram, we go live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I just want to make sure everything is good on our LinkedIn side, because we've been doing pretty good. I just want to make sure everything is clear. I want to just make sure. Excellent. Everything is good. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So this past weekend, we were at the IEB Back to School event. Shaquilla Strawberry, who was it? Is it Dare? I think it's Dare. Hold up. Let me tell you about the event. It was a back to school event, and we did a presentation. We focused on creating creating neurodivergent inclusive classrooms, and we presented to some teachers. Oh, we got a great response. It was great vibes. It was a great panel there that included like neurodivergent adults and the youth. So it was an amazing program. We also met a lot of different vendors that were there. So it was a great turnout. And a great response to our presentation. So I'm extremely happy about that. So yes, and thank you again to Shaquilla Strawberry for inviting us, and her organization is called Audacity to Dare to Educate. Oh, it was such a great event. So we had such a great time there, and we have a surprise for you guys. But you got to pay attention. You have to watch our posting. We're going to post about it tomorrow morning. So make sure you follow us. Make sure you view our content, because we have a big announcement dropping tomorrow in the morning. Okay, we dropping it first thing in the morning for you guys. Actually, I'm gonna change the time. I'm gonna do it at lunchtime, 12 o'clock, because I know you guys will be more alert on social media. All right. So tonight we are going to discuss progress monitoring. Now, this is something that parents and teachers definitely should be aware of, and that you should be practicing. Okay. Now, you may be wondering, well, what is progress monitoring? Okay. Progress monitoring is the process that teachers do to keep track of students' progress on their goals in their IEP. And also, general education teachers, they progress monitor students with the skills that they're learning in the classroom. Now, we're specifically talking about this topic because if you are not properly progress monitoring your students' goals and their date and their skills, how can you then write an IEP that's going to focus on focus on their areas of need? How will you even identify what their area of need is if you don't progress monitor? Okay. So I have 4 tips for teachers and also parents. I'm going to tell you how you can track your child's goals as well. Okay. Now, the first thing you need to do is progress monitor consistently. Like, don't just start tracking data just because, oh, a test is coming up, or you're about to do a benchmark, or state exams are coming, or now, oh, it's the IEP, it's progress monitor, we got to do progress report. Oh, let me hurry up and gather some data. No, you need to consistently be progress monitoring from the start of the school year. Consistency is key. Okay, consistently progress monitor. So whatever your students' skills are or goals are, you consistently track those goals and skills. Consistency will always be key. Okay. Got to do it consistently. All right. The next tip is to choose your tools wisely, meaning choose the tools that you're going to use to progress monitor. Choose them wisely. So, are you going to use probes? Are you going to do observations? Are you going to use rubrics? What are you going to use to track your students' progress? Are you going to use assessments? Are you going to use writing samples? What are you going to use to progress monitor? Okay. And again, whatever you use, be consistent with it and be mindful of the tools that you are using. And you want to make sure whatever tools you're using, they're not subjective, meaning that you could kind of skew your data. For example, let's say I'm progress monitoring behavior, right? And let's say, oh, I use a rubric, and some rubrics can be very subjective, meaning I might just have 1, 2, 3. 3 could be excellent, 2 could be okay, 1 could be needs improvement. Now, that could be considered subjective because, hey, what's excellent to me may not be excellent behavior for another teacher. So when you're doing a rubric or something like that, you want to make sure, okay, is not just excellent. What's excellent behavior? What does that look like? What does okay behavior look like? What does need improvement behavior look like? You want to make sure you have that on your rubric, so that way it's clear the type of behavior you're looking for. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say some tools can be subjective, because a teacher can say, oh, the student may have had a meltdown at the very end, and then all of a sudden they were good all day, but now, you know what, I'm gonna say they're okay instead of excellent, even though they definitely had an excellent day. It was up until the last 5 minutes they had a meltdown. Is it fair to say that they were just okay the whole time? You got to make sure your tools are not subjective. Okay. All right, next thing, you want to make sure that you collect enough data for your students. Okay. And when you're looking at the IEP, it will let you know how much data you need. So, for example, when you're looking at goals, if it says the student will achieve this on 4 out of 5 trials, then you need to have 5 data points. Okay. Now, out of those 5, 4 of them need to hit the target that you have in your goal. So if it says, so this is why as Sped teachers, you need to be mindful how you are wording these goals and how you're going to track these goals. You got to be realistic. Okay. If you have 5 trials, you need to make sure you have 5 data points. Okay. If you say out of 3 trials, you need to make sure you have 3 data points total. Now, when you get to out of 10 trials, that means you need to have 10 data points. So you got to be mindful about making sure you collect enough data. Okay. And then the last tip is make sure you set time to analyze your data, because you can't, like, collecting the data is half the battle. You also have to analyze it. And what do I mean by analyze it? Meaning, after you collected your data, look at the data. See, what is the data telling you? Is it telling you that this student is progressing? Or is it telling you that this student needs more time to work on this particular goal or these skills? Analyzing it helps you to see over time, is the student mastering, progressing, or is the student regressing? So when you analyze your data, you'll be able to see, like, oh, Adam is mastering this skill, this goal. We don't need to focus on these skills no more. We can move to some other skills. Okay. Or it could show, you know what? We're focusing on four areas in behavior. And I think we need to continue to work on these because he's not hitting 80%. He's like seesawing between 60 and 70. So we need to continue to track these areas. Okay. Analyzing the data helps you to see what goals you need to put in the IEP and what skills you need to focus on. Analyzing the data helps you to then, it helps you to inform your instruction and the type of goals you're going to include in the IEP. Okay. So the tips were: progress monitor consistently. So are you going to do it daily, weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly? And this is also listed in the child's IEP, because it'll say, on Florida, it'll tell you bi-weekly, or it may say tri-weekly. Now, if you're doing behavior, it may say daily or weekly. Okay. So you got to progress monitor consistently, have a schedule. When I was still in the classroom, Wednesdays were my progress monitoring days. So, and I progress monitored academic goals every 2 weeks. Writing goals, we did it tri-weekly. Now, I was an emotional support teacher, so I was tracking behavior. So majority, all of my students were on weekly behavior rubrics. So I was tracking their behavior weekly. Okay. Choose your tools wisely. For behavior is something that you observe. You have to quantify it, because I'm not going to pick up a phone and tell parents, oh, your child did this today. Your child did this in this area, in this area, in this area. No, you have to quantify it. So I use behavior rubrics to quantify the behavior that the teachers were observing, that the student exhibited in their classrooms. Then from there, I would say, okay, a 3, this is what that behavior looks like. A 2, this is what that behavior looks like. A 1, this is what that looks like pertaining to the category. So like completing assignments, completing classwork, completing homework, self-advocacy. For my students who had writing goals, we used their journal writing. They did about 4 journals a quarter. So that's what I used. I made sure I had 4 journals, and we tracked, and the case managers were able to track how they improve with their writing over time. Now, if it's reading comprehension or math, you can use like a probe or something, like a small assessment. Collect enough data. So I progress monitor every Wednesday. That was my day. Now, like I said, I always made sure I had enough data. So I always had 4, or depending on the goal, I had 4 to 5 data points that I collected every quarter, because we did progress reports every quarter. So I always made sure I had 4 to 5 data points which were aligned with their goals. Because again, if it said 5 trials or if it said 4 trials, that was the total data points that I made sure to collect. And then make sure you have time to analyze your data. So go through the data to see, what is the data telling you about the student? Is the student progressing or is the student regressing? Okay. And this helps you to see goals that the student has mastered and goals where you're like, okay, we need to continue to work on this goal. Okay. Just collecting the data is half the work. You have to then analyze the data. So that way it can help you to drive the IEP, like your IEP goals, because then you have the data to back up why you no longer need to progress monitor a goal, or you need to continue to progress monitor a goal. Okay. So progress monitor consistently, choose your tools wisely, collect enough data, and make time to analyze your data. Okay. And now with parents, you can track your child's progress by looking at their progress reports each quarter to see, are they getting better or are they regressing? And use that information to then schedule a meeting to talk with the team, case manager, or particular teachers. Okay. Getting physical copies of the progress reports can help you keep track of your child's progress as well. Okay. We have any questions? Put your questions in the comments. Hey, consulting DCH. Hey, hey, hey. Any questions? Please put them in the comments. You have any questions? It can be about progress monitoring, or it could be a SPED question that you have. Put it in the comments. Also, I am going to put information here to our freebies, because in our freebies for teachers, we do have a resource for you guys to help with progress reports. Okay. So you can definitely go ahead and take advantage of our freebies. And any questions that you have, please put them in the comments now. It can be, hey. It can be a SPED question. It could be a question about progress monitoring. Whatever question you have, you can put it here in the comments. I'm going to give you a moment to type it, because I know it takes a minute to type your question. Okay. All right. Any questions? All right, so I've dropped the link to our freebies. We have there's a resource on there for teachers when you're doing your progress reports. There's a resource on there. You have the tips. Now, when you're writing your reports, we have a resource for you to make sure that your reports are giving enough information so that when the parents read it, they understand what the progress report is telling them. Also, there are some resources on there for parents as well. You can it's tips to prepare for your IEP meeting, and also just SPED information that parents should know is also on there as well. So go ahead and take advantage of the freebies. And checking to see if we got any questions. I don't see any questions. All right, cool. Now, our big announcement is going to drop 12 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Our big announcement is going to drop tomorrow, 12 p.m. So tomorrow is September the 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Pay attention to our platforms. Okay? It's a big announcement that's going to come. Okay? I don't want you to miss it, and I'm not going to give it away right now. Okay? So make sure you tune in to see what that announcement is. Check our social media. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. Okay. So make sure you check us out for that big announcement. If you don't have any questions, all right, we're going to go ahead and get off. If a question comes to you later on, feel free to DM us or message us. We are very responsive and we will respond to your questions. But until then, we will see you next Tuesday for the Coaching Corner, where we discuss all things special education. As always, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, be mindful of your capacity and what you're capable of doing. Okay. And remember to schedule your joy. All right. See you all next Tuesday.